Good morning, and thank you for joining me once again. This, as anybody who's been watching the last few episodes will know, is going to round off the series where we've been talking about meditation. And since I started doing these videos, I can honestly say that the last four I've probably enjoyed the most. And I really hope that people have gotten a little something out of them and possibly considered opening their mind to meditating to help them with some of the issues and some of the problems that they have. The sad fact is, I think, that the individuals who will benefit the most from having a break, giving their minds a rest, are ironically 9 times out of 10 the ones who kind of pass this off as ridiculous. You know, they don't believe that this is actually going to help, and therefore they just kind of close their minds to it. And my biggest hope is that even if one or two of you, find yourself a little bit of time in the coming days to just swing the bat and see, if you can get into some kind of rhythm with it. I honestly believe it can massively help you out with your mindset and your just general approach towards life. So we're going to round things off by me just talking through a few tips and hints that have really helped me over the last kind of 12 months or so, because it's not really a walk in the park and there are all sorts of questions that you'll have. And I'm only at the very, very beginning of this journey, so I'm by no means an expert. But I just want to share with you a few things that possibly will help you guys get going with it and hopefully help you get to where you need to be. Possibly a little bit quicker than I did. So the first thing is start small. Don't decide you're going to do this, buy yourself a meditation mat, set your timer for an hour, get your eyes closed and think, right, what's this all about? It just is going to last about 4 minutes. You're going to be bored. You're going to think you can't do it. And you're going to give up before you've even got going. So my advice is to start off with a minute and then maybe just increase it ever so slightly. Maybe, go from a minute for the first couple of days, take it up to 2 minutes. And then when you get to 5 minutes, like a little milestone, I call it, you sit on that for a week or two. Just do it for 5 minutes every day. And then maybe start creeping it up to 10. But do it at your own pace, because the good thing about meditation is anything is better than nothing. So even if you're just doing a minute a day, you're giving your mind a rest for a minute a day. If you consistently keep that up, you're going to be in better shape than if you hadn't started doing it. So my first tip is start small. And also on the kind of doing of it, another little tip I would say is don't commit to doing this every day. Commit to doing it most days. Because if you commit to doing it every day, you can do 4 or 5 days. You're going to wake up one day and not feel as though you're into it. You're going to skip the day. And then, as I mentioned a few episodes back, you're going to think you failed. So don't set yourself up to fail. Don't set your stall out at a point where you say, right, I'm going to meditate every day. I promise I don't meditate every day. I have most weekends off, actually. So most days, not every day, and start off small would be my first 2 tips. Now, I've made a few notes here, so this is actually the first time since I've been doing these videos that I've made notes. So bear with me as I read my notes, because I don't want to forget any of these little tips. Bolt the meditation onto something that you're already doing on a regular basis. So with me, I bolted it on to the end of the gym. And as you know, I started this journey off by sitting in the steam room and doing meditation for about 10-15 minutes. Because that is part of my journey to the gym, I found it easier to stick to. So, it doesn't have to be the gym if you don't go to the gym. You might want to do it first thing in the morning when you wake up, before anybody wakes up. You might want to do it just before you read your book at night. You might want to do it in your van before you go into your first call. But just bolt it onto something which is already part of your life. Don't make it a big thing that you've got to go and do and exclusively do. Because I think you're probably going to wobble with that a little bit because it's something brand new. So almost kind of make it a part of your existing routine, okay? What we got here? So try and do it in secret, yeah, to start with. And when I say to start with, I mean for the majority of the time when you first start to wander down this road. And what I mean by that is, I've been doing this for 12 months, and during this lockdown has been the first time I've been able to manage to say to Anna, babe, I'm gonna go upstairs and meditate. I still feel like a dick. I do. And she 9 times out of 10 takes the piss out of me. You don't want that when you're first on this road. I can deal with that now because I'm kind of past all the little bumps in the road, and I can kind of laugh at that, and I can understand that. You know, I get it. It feels weird. I'm going to go and meditate. Do you know what I mean? It's a bit spooky. So in the early days, do it in secret. You know, don't tell anybody that you're meditating. It's just going to be something else you're going to worry about. And if somebody says, you're going to go and do what, mate? You're just going to be sitting there thinking, oh, maybe this is weird. Maybe I'm weird. What's wrong with me? Nobody else is meditating. I watch these videos. Dan told me to meditate, and now I'm meditating, and maybe I shouldn't be meditating. Forget all that. Do it in secret. Don't tell anybody you're doing it. Get used to it. Get into it. Get to the feel for it. Let it become more comfortable, and then start telling people that you're meditating, okay? When you're counting, and maybe you're trying to get to 10 breaths, I found it really, really helpful, now stick with me here, to imagine the numbers as kind of like almost like stone pillars. And I imagine them with like a really thin layer of dust on them. And every time I exhaled, I kind of cleared them of the dust, and I watched the dust kind of just disintegrate away. And then I imagined a big number 2, and I did the same. And then I imagined a big number 3. It just allows you to stay in the game, stay focused on what you're doing, yeah? So maybe play around with different techniques where you can visualize things to help you focus on only your breathing, because I found that really, really helped for me. And the last thing is make sure you set a timer. So don't just kind of bowl into this and think to yourself, right, I'm just going to close my eyes, do it for as long as I feel comfortable, and then I'm going to open my eyes and I'm going to see how long I've been doing it. One thing I can guarantee you, if you do that, you won't have been doing it for as long as you think you've been doing it. So set your timer for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, and sit there with your eyes closed, even if you think it's been a really shit session, and get to the alarm, okay? Get to the alarm. No 2 sessions are the same. The fact that you're just sitting there on your own and shutting the rest of the world out for 5 minutes is a really, really great thing. And my final thing I would say, which I find really, really a bit spooky, to be honest, is make sure you set an alarm on your phone, which is quite like piercing. It almost cuts through you, because when it does, you get this like energy and this excitement kind of run through you, and it almost ends it with a bit of, almost like a bit of kind of vibration. And I find that it really, really helps to kind of finish with a smile on your face. You kind of get those hairs stand up on the back of your neck because everything's been so serene and peaceful. Then all of a sudden you've got this kind of alarm that kicks through. And it almost makes you kind of excited in a funny sort of way. I hope you're trying to understand what I'm trying to say here. So they're things that I think have really, really helped me, and they're things that I think you should entertain. And good luck with it all. You know, that's me. I'm not going to be speaking about meditation again for a while. If you've got any questions, just let me know. But as you've probably gathered by now, I'm a big fan. Take care.